Hi, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to Beats Research Radio, a podcast and YouTube channel that aims to disseminate science and research to the community. My name is Nicole Chu, an undergraduate student from the University of Ottawa, and I'll be your host on today's episode. Before I begin, I would like to respectfully acknowledge that I'm calling in from the traditional and unceded territories of the Anishinaabe Algonquin Nation. Joining us is Dr. Rosalin Miles. Dr. Miles is a member of the Lytton First Nation and a research associate in the Indigenous Health and Physical Activity program at the University of British Columbia School of Kinesiology. Dr. Miles brings 38 years of diverse expertise in sports, fitness, education, and health, spanning roles such as a NCAA coach, kinesiologist, active release therapist, instructor, researcher, and athlete. Dr. Miles is also the founder and volunteer executive director of the Indigenous Physical Activity and Cultural Circle, or IPACC. In 2019, Dr. Miles received Vancouver Quadra's Hidden Hero Award from the House of Commons, recognizing her contributions to the community as a leader of IPACC. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Miles.
Thank you for having me. Good morning. Yerek Shenwenwen, as I would say in my language, It's an honor to be calling in today from the ancestral, unceded, and traditional lands of the Musqueam people. I'm a visitor here, and it's an honor to live, work, and play on this territory.
It's an absolute honor to have you on our channel as well. And to start off our conversation, I'd kind of like to ask you, what motivated you to found the Indigenous Physical Activity and Cultural Circle?
Well, I think the biggest thing that we were wanting to create in Canada was a network for people to come together who were involved in promoting traditional activities, sports, recreation, and fitness to support our ways of knowing for being physically active. When I first came back to Canada in 2005, after coaching in the States, I was really looking for a place to belong, a place to kind of meet other people who had similar interests, similar passions, and it was very difficult to attend gatherings. There wasn't really much happening besides local sporting events and community events. So a few years into it, I just, speaking of a lot of people, that we decided to create Indigenous Physical Activity and Cultural Circle in 2011, and it's been exciting to be part of this process ever since.
It's really amazing, like kind of learning how you are a volunteer and so actively engaged in your local community. So, do you mind telling us a bit more about your goals with IPACC?
Yeah, so with IPAC, it's really it's a national network where we create a national conference every single year, except for the year when COVID happened, sadly. But this is our 10th annual conference, and we create a space for people to come together and share best practices around being active on the land or in the water, like traditional activities, how participating in mainstream sports, mainstream recreation, for example, within Indigenous communities, and also different types of fitness activities. So when we have the conference, we have three streams that are happening. We're really happy this year to partner with Aboriginal Education Research Forum on May 15th and 16th. We'll be in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and we'll be hosting the event there. The registrations are up now on our website, which is iactive.ca, IACTIVE.ca. And we're really excited about the conference. When we bring people together, it's really heartwarming. It's a variety of ages, from young to elders, who are sharing the good work they're doing in the community that's strength-based. We're really focused on promoting holistic health and wellness and being physically active in a really good way, and really recognizing the way that we were active before colonization, hunting, fishing, gathering medicine, gathering food, is one of the most important ways bringing family together, bringing community together to be physically active. And so a lot of communities do that just naturally. And that's something that we really promote at the conference. Besides the other things that families are involved in, such as like hockey, lacrosse, basketball, etc. So it's a real fun event, and people leave feeling inspired, feeling motivated, really validating their contributions, especially as volunteers.
And I will definitely add like a link to your conference in our description box below so people who are interested can potentially register. And I know you've led 9 of these wellness conferences and 9 active spirit walks and runs, but can you share with us more about some of the current ongoing initiatives with IPACC?
Yeah, so on March 29th, we're doing a 1 week kickoff on Strava. So we have a club, an IPACC Walk and Run Club, and we're inviting people to come be involved for a week. And we're partnering with UBC Indigenous Studies and Kinesiology program with the students there to help them create this virtual walk run. People can share their activities, whether it's 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. You do not have to be Indigenous to participate. However, we wanted to create this virtual platform that people can build relationships, build partners to be physically active as well. So that's one event that we have happening starting March 29th. The other event we're doing is with the Canadian Health and Fitness Institute. We had a huge successful program last year, a kickoff event for the Let's Move Canada. And we will be doing that again this year on June 1st to June 21st. And we also have a toolkit that we provide on our nonprofit website page, IPACC, to give people ideas of how to be physically active for the 21 days. And so that's a really exciting project we're doing as well. Last year, we had over 24,000 participants, and it was across the country. And it was a real honor to be part of that and really highlight the intersections of Indigenous ways of knowing with other cultures, other communities, that we understand that the benefits for being physically active is not just about your body, but also spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, promoting health and well-being. So really kind of getting out there being active is really also good for the holistic part of your health and well-being.
That's really amazing how you connected nationwide with so many individuals through these initiatives. Sort of spoken about this holistic aspect, and I know like some of us might think that exercise might be like going to the gym or playing a team sport like soccer, but why is it important to promote more traditional activities and recreations and sports within Indigenous communities?
I think it's really important to highlight the things that you do within community, the things you do with family, as being a really important part of your health and well-being. So it's not about just going to a gym or a fitness center. Going out to harvest blackberries with your elder and your children is a really important way of getting your steps in. So there's this big campaign years ago that you had to do 10,000 steps to prevent diabetes. However, what meaningfulness did that have for motivation or adherence to being physically active? So if you think about being active in the sense of, getting together as a family and going working on the land and harvesting, like in our community, we have wild potatoes or wild mushrooms or wild celery, and really sharing those teachings, sharing the food. Is more of a strength-based approach to being physically active, things that we've always practiced, versus going to a community and saying you need to walk, in a circle for 10,000 steps. Walking to your old waterways, and really passing on some of your knowledge and having fun with your children, having playfulness with your family is really important for emotional well-being. So we all know that when we go for a walk or for a run, after we usually feel better. We typically we know that being physically active reduces anxiety, reduces depression. So when you think about the intrinsic feelings of being physically active, there's really strong ties to emotional wellness. And so there's benefits of knowing that when you're out playing with your family, playing with friends, or even taking your dog for a walk, after you feel much more engaged, with yourself and be more in relationships with others. So that holistic health and wellness ties to emotional well-being and spiritual well-being, connections to the land, connections to Mother Earth, connections to the next generation or the past generation, knowing that you have integrity in your walk, you're practicing what you preach by taking care of yourself is really important as well.
Thank you so much for sharing. And with the, I guess, spring coming, we'll definitely see more of these like community-based initiatives coming into play, like the Strava run that you guys are organizing. So I guess for the final question, you are doing a lot in the Vancouver area. initiating these community-based activities and promoting these traditional activities with Indigenous communities. However, what other changes would you like to see being made for sports and recreational opportunities to make them more culturally safe and relevant for Indigenous peoples?
I think it's really important that we focus on our youth and that we focus on our youth and children that are in school. Yeah, I would love to envision, we're creating a grant application today, is that to provide after school care. And I know one of the biggest differences I found when I was in the United States versus Canada is that the high school coaches are paid to be there to be coaches. I wish in Canada that, we talk about truth and reconciliation, the call to action. However, it's really hard to implement these things without resources. And meaning that having after school programs where children can explore different sports, explore different ways of being nutritionally active. If we had programs led by youth, like twice a week at least, where children can explore being physically active with a mentor or a peer that's trained to provide that space and to support them to be active, and also including like equipment and also food, like maybe snacks after. Ideally, I really believe that physical activity helps with so many different areas. We talked about, reducing anxiety and depression, but it's also been shown to reduce teenage pregnancy, reduce, gangs, reduce addictions. And so if we had more of a promotion of physical activity within the school system and providing space for youth, I think that we would have a more positive impact within communities. And that's something we really advocate with IPACC. We have our national proclamation where we really support the calls to action. And we're just hoping that more people see the benefits of being physically active and sharing these best practices at our conference. And when people go back to their community, they can keep moving forward as volunteers. And if we can create more resources for First Nation schools or within the public school system for everybody, I think we benefit as a society.
I definitely agree with you. And I think what you mentioned about kind of like giving youth these resources and like empowering them to take the initiative to be leaders in their own community, I think that's definitely really important.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just really want to share the really important value of volunteering, and it's been definitely a passion of my heart. However, it's a real honor to be recognized at the North American Indigenous Athletics Hall of Fame this week in a category of builder. So it's been a really great honor doing this work with IPAC. And in addition, I was also recognized by UBC in 2020 with the UBC Alumni Award as a volunteer. And so it's really important for people to know that giving back to the community is really important and is highly valued by different organizations as well. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Miles, for sharing with us your work with IPAC and how you're making a difference in your community with physical activity. It was really insightful to hear.
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
Mhm. And thank you so much to all Beats Research Radio listeners for tuning in as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram channels at Beats Research. On behalf of our entire radio team and director, Dr. Emilio Alarcon, we hope to see you all in our next episode.